Okay, take two. So I am Susan Hannifin-MacNab, and I live in San Diego. My husband Brent brought me here, and he is actually the one that I sit in front of his painting every time I sit here in my office, which is all day long. We used to live in Hawaii. We got married in Hawaii. His ashes are in Hawaii, and this is a local Hawaiian lady with her bunch of anthuriums. And doesn't it look like I have angel wings? That's what you said.
That's the very first thing I noticed when we first Zoomed.
Like,
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I spent 90 minutes talking with Susan about her life, the death of her husband, and the road to healing. And if you will go to my YouTube channel, Google YouTube, put in Tom Zuba, the channel comes up, make sure you subscribe. Our 90-minute conversation is right there. And I would strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to listen. I invite people every Tuesday night who I know a lot of people. I invite the people that have fascinating stories and who have worked really, 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 really hard on this thing that we call healing. And I want to make it clear, for me, I'm not one of those people that believes healing is a destination. I mean, I just don't. I don't think I'm going to wake up one day and go, hallelujah, I'm healed.
oh,
I'm
wouldn't
healed.
that be nice?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be nice.
Flick a switch. You flick a switch, and it's not going to
Or
happen.
like a lot of people think, take a pill or take a drink and then I'm healed. I don't believe for me healing is a destination. For me, healing becomes my way of being. It's my way of being in the world. And you know what? 15 years following the death of my son, Rory, I like my way of being in the world. I actually like being in the world. So I'm cool with healing a little bit more every single day. We're going to get into that, but first I want to just say hey to some of the folks that are saying hey. My friend Sharon is saying hi to both of us. Sharon, I met in my very first Permission to Mourn Module 1. I'm excited because the second offering of Permission to Mourn Module 1 begins tomorrow night with a 7:30 p.m. Zoom gathering.
Fun.
What's interesting is there's 22 seats. 22 is my number, in case you don't know. And I was very, very clear that I knew the demand was high. And I said, no refunds, no refunds. You know, it's a 3-week class. The tuition is $299. So it's not like it's $10. So if you're going to take a seat, if you're going to pay, make sure you can commit. No refunds, no refunds. It sold out in 4 hours, 22 people, 4 hours. The universe loves me. Everything happens for me, not to me. And honestly, within the last week, 4 people, would you please change your refund policy for me because I'm not going to be able to do it. And this was my thought process. I thought, if there's a part of you that doesn't want to do it, I'm going to honor that. I'm going to honor that because I want to attract people that do want to do it. And there are enough folks out there that do want to do it. So I refunded 3 of them. The 4th one, I need to chat with a little bit. But as I knew it would, 3 of the seats filled up in a heartbeat. If you're listening, there's 1 more seat open for Permission to
make 22, right?
Yeah, and there's 1 more seat. We start tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Central. If you go to tomzuba.com, click the online store, follow it to classes and retreats. If your heart is saying, I want that seat, go get that seat. Susan was in my very first cohort, I'd say. Jill is here from Rockford. Cam from Covington, Louisiana. Her beautiful son, William, brought her here. My friend Liz is watching. Liz is in, I'm in the I'm in the 4th week of this incredible 5-week online program that's rooted in my 2nd book, Becoming Radiant. So this is, I think it's 16 people that I know that I've worked with before, that really have taken in as much of Permission to Mourn as they could, or as they can to date. And so they're really, really ready to become radiant. And we made vision boards. That was part of it. We spent 2 weeks making vision boards. And last week through Zoom, half of the people, held their vision board up and took as much time as they wanted and shared with us how they want to feel as they create their optimal life and what they think that might look like. We went for 2.5 hours, and it was, honestly, it was like going to church. It was like being in church.
Oh.
And it was one of the most healing experiences that I've ever had, as I watched each of these people literally step into their power and say to us, to themselves, to their loved ones, to God, to Jesus, to the Blessed Mother, to Buddha, to Yoda,
everybody.
Yeah, everybody, and the universe. This is who I am. I believe I can feel this way. I want to feel this way. This life that I'm going to create, this life that I'm going to draw in, it feels like this, walking on a beach in California, or seeing the polar bears in Alaska, or drinking a beautiful Chardonnay at a, oh my Lord. It was just, and it's one of those things I always say, I'm the one that benefits the most. I'm the one that benefits the most. And I can literally feel the vibrational level of the group going up and up.
Wow.
And up and up and up.
That's the beauty. There's so many beautiful things about group work, but that is such the power of doing work in a group is huge. It's huge.
So I know that we've talked about this before. I was raised Catholic. Were you as well?
I was.
Okay. So my joke, it's a sad, pitiful joke about being raised Catholic, is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like we knew nothing. We knew nothing about the Bible. Did you? I mean, did you study the Bible or memorize Bible verses?
No, did not. Heard it every week at church, but we did not study it like my Protestant friends. They know the Bible backwards and forwards. Brent could quote, he knew scripture, he would read it every day. And to me, wow, we're both Christian, but this is a very different approach. And I loved it. I just wasn't raised that way.
I do know a couple of things about the Bible because, as you said, we did go to Mass every Sunday, and the gospel was always a reading from the Bible.
Sure.
So I know God is love. I know that's a direct quote from the Bible. And I also know, I don't know the direct quote, but there is something along the lines of where 2 or more are gathered. Yeah. Where 2 or more are gathered. And even for people that aren't Christian or are mad at God or mad at Jesus or mad at Christianity, which I understand, there is still in group work where 2 or more are gathered with the intention of healing. The energy of the group is so much more powerful than the energy of any single individual.
It's interesting you say that because, as I said, I was raised Catholic. I used to lead retreats. I went to a Catholic university. I was I did volunteer work for a Catholic organization after I graduated. I don't even know if you know that, Tom. The Jesuit Volunteer Corps, it's called. And after Brent died, I was livid. I questioned, is there a God? I mean, I completely lost my faith and had to regroup and gain it anew. But one thing I knew, even though I was questioning everything about God and my new life I was given, I knew that there was power in more than one. So even though I was questioning everything, I let people pray over me, pray for me. I went to prayer circles and I just sat there like, okay, bring it on. And that was so healing. I didn't know it at the time, but it was.
I believe, I really, really do believe, I was joking before, but I do believe, and it's rooted in my chosen definition and understanding of God. I choose to believe that God is love. And because God is love, everything in my life happens for me. It happens for me. I'm not a victim. And I believe that the death of my daughter, the death of my wife, the death of my son, the invitation was to be completely cracked open. Completely cracked open. And part of being cracked open is to question absolutely everything. It's just as you said, is there a frickin' God? If there
Exactly.
is, where was this thing during the surgery that removed Rory's left temporal lobe? And where exactly was this guy, entity, whatever, on New Year's frickin' Day morning when my 43-year-old wife exited the planet, leaving me with a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old? Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes. I think we're supposed to. Question, 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 question. And then we listen. You know, if we ask the
Right.
questions, we have to listen for the answers.
That's
So,
the work you're talking about.
yes, and that's the work you wrote a book about. So I don't believe
That's right.
in coincidences at all. And before we went live, I asked Susan if she knew whose birthday it is today. So my friend Dawn, who some of you met a couple of weeks ago, Dawn is from Quincy, Illinois. Dawn's son, Dylan, was an actor. He looked like a movie star. He was an athlete. He was a cool, funky dude. And you know what? He still is. I mean, Dawn's son, Dylan, is one funky dude. Dawn was in the Navy, and Dawn now works at the VA hospital. Dawn is really a beacon of light, and coronavirus allowing, me, Dawn, and her husband Charles, who is from South Africa, we're going to take a group of people to South Africa late spring.
What?
Yeah, late spring. And we're going to go to the place where Nelson Mandela was jailed for how many years?
Oh my
Dawn's
goodness.
husband Charles's family lives on, I'm not gonna get the right term, but like a wildlife preservation, and the zebras and the lions and the giraffes, they're there. So
Wow.
the intention of our 2-week journey is to immerse ourselves in beauty, to immerse
Beautiful.
ourselves in the wonder of God through his creation or her creation, to open our eyes and our ears and our heart to new. Why do we want to do this? Because we want to heal. And we want to, can you imagine 2 weeks in South
Oh,
Africa with people that know South Africa? We are going to be vibrating so high, we're not even going to take a plane home. We're all just going to fly as a group back to America. So,
okay. I want to be part of that trip, but now tell us.
okay,
Whose birthday is it?
let me tell you. So Dawn sent me this beautiful box today, and it says, say yes,
Say yes.
say yes, okay? That's one of my thingies. Say yes, say yes, say yes. And sometimes saying yes is saying hell to the no on that. It's saying yes to me. She sent me this beautiful, beautiful little, it's a,
We can't see it. Oh, okay.
okay, it's not the Becoming Radiant, it's the one next to it.
Does
So
it have a cross?
no, it's not Jesus on the cross, it's Jesus's mother. It's the Blessed Mother. So my mother adores the Blessed Mother. And my grandma, my mother's mother, literally said the rosary every single night. She would bless us with holy water every time we entered their home and every time we left their home. She had a little holy water thing right by the door.
Oh, wow.
So the two most important women in my life, next to my wife, Trish, they have such a close personal relationship with the Blessed Mother. So I wanted to show this to my mom today because I knew she'd love it. And my mom said, well, you know whose birthday it is today, don't you, Tom? It's the Blessed Mother's birthday today.
And you got that in the mail today.
Today.
Ooh.
No coincidences.
I was going to say, how's that for no coincidence?
I know. Isn't that amazing? So thank you, Dawn. And I bring the Blessed Mother in. I don't have to bring her in. I'm going to step closer to her. It's not about her. It's about me. I am stepping closer to the Blessed Mother. I'll be honest with you. As a Catholic, oh Lord, I have had a real, this is my confession.
Are we going to get into Catholicism?
Yeah, we
right
are.
now?
But just give me a second. I have had a real struggle with this Jesus, and primarily because of the way Christianity has just desecrated Jesus, in my opinion, in my experience. And over the last year or so, it's like I have heard this really clear call from Jesus saying, come closer to me, come closer to me, come closer to me. Look at me with new eyes. That's not who I am. I'm not the one that hates gay people. I'm not the one that condemns women who choose to have abortion. That's not me. That's not me. I'm someone else. I'm someone else. So just right now, it's like the Blessed Mother is saying, please, take another, as you continue to do the work that you're doing, take another look at us, would you? I can hear my grandma going, I'm with them now, Tommy. Take another look at them. Take another look at them.
I love your imitation of your grandma's voice.
Showed my Irish brogue. And we're going to Ireland, coronavirus permitting. I want to be in Ireland July 24th, which is Rory's birthday of 20.
Oh.
Yeah, a retreat.
You need to write all this down so we know what we can do with you.
Okay. A retreat in Ireland, a retreat in Scotland, and a retreat in Wales. Yeah, like 4 or 5 weeks, beginning the second half of July in 2021.
Oh, nice.
This is a really powerful book. It's called
On another note.
Yeah, it's called the A to Z Healing Toolbox. My producer right here is going, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. A to Z Healing Toolbox. If you have been following me, you know that this is the truth. I very rarely recommend people's books. Why? There's a lot of crap out there in the area of grief, in my humble opinion. So if I suggest to you, this is a really powerful book, it's got to be a powerful book because I believe that words have power. And one of the things that I value is that people can trust me. People can trust me. So Susan asked me to write the foreword to her book. Susan isn't the only person who has asked me to write the foreword to their book. Susan is one of the people that I said yes to. Yes, I will.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
Yeah. And I want...
Just say yes.
Yeah, say yes and say no when no is appropriate. I want to read 2 paragraphs. Put this book on your nightstand. Open it first thing in the morning as you plan your day with intention. Put another copy on your kitchen table so you can refer to it throughout the day. And make sure you have extra copies in your car so you can pass it on when you randomly meet the next person who is ready to heal their broken heart, no matter what the cause. That's important. This book is not just for folks who are living with the death of someone they love. The second paragraph, Susan has laid the path out for us clearly, gently, and thoroughly. She introduces us to other people like us who are doing the work and healing. It's all here. It is all here. Your job is to say yes every day, many times throughout the day. Your job is to realize you are not the victim, no matter what you've lived through. And with, you're actually a co-creator. And Susan offers you the tools necessary to co-create a glorious life. Damn, Susan, that is beautiful.
Tom, would you write the foreword to my book? Oh, wait, you already did.
Seriously, that's the truth. That's the truth. And that's why I'm really, really excited to have you here and to talk about this incredible, incredible weekend, this online weekend that we've planned. But before we get into it, I thought this was interesting when you talked about your willingness, even though you were really pissed at God, you were willing to have people pray with you, over you, under you, through you, around you. Where and when, after your husband died, did it occur to you that you actually could heal? Where did that come from?
You know, I don't think it was one day I woke up and said, oh, I actually can heal. It was, I'm a fighter, and I didn't really realize that so much until this happened. But I had a 5-year-old son. We had just moved back from Australia. We were borrowing a car, we're renting a condo. I had no job. I mean, hello, where do you start from there? And I was just determined to figure out a way to live and live. I don't think joy would have even popped into my head. I don't think that word popped in because I was so, the vibrational level of grief and trauma is way down here. So I didn't say, oh, I'm going to live a joyful life someday. It was kicking, screaming, scratching, clawing, screaming, yelling, cursing to claw my way out of that dark pit. And I was willing to do whatever it took to get out and bring my child with me. And that's where this book came to be, because all 26 of these tools I have used over and over and over again, and they helped me get out of the dark pit. And these tools have helped other people as well.
As you reflect back, was having a 5-year-old son, was that a help to your healing, or was that a hindrance to your healing?
I only know my own experience, and for me, it was helpful because he was the reason I got up. If he wasn't around, why? But I've talked to people that didn't have children, right? Their cat, their dog, their best friend, something propelled them to keep going, even if it was, I'm just going to get up and brush my teeth today. But for me, I was a kindergarten through 12th grade. I have a teaching credential in the state of California and Massachusetts. So I've done a ton of work with kids, and I knew this 5-year-old needed a life. Like, he needed a childhood. He needed security and stability. And I was the one who had to provide that. So for me, it helped.
Did you ever stay in bed for a day or 5 or 7 and just lay in bed and not get out?
I couldn't. I had a 5-year-old. I had to get up, get him to school, make breakfast, lunch. I mean, I was on auto parent for a long time. And then the other coping tool I really used a lot was exercise in nature. So I just had to, that was the only thing that made sense to me, was exercise. I could still move, I could still lift the weight, I could still go for a hike. That made sense when nothing else did.
So I've been really honest about my experience with Aaron. I wrote about it in the book, with Trish and with Rory, that I more than once, many, many times, considered suicide. I absolutely did, because the pain was unbearable. It seemed never ending. The isolation, the loneliness, the hopelessness. I literally thought, I will not live the rest of my life this way. There is only one way out, and I am going to kill myself. I had, after Trish died, 2 little boys. After Rory died, I had 1 little boy. In my mind, it's significant that I never actually did it. And I'm really, really grateful that I never actually did it. But while I was contemplating it, in my mind, the fact that I had kids, they were not enough to keep me here. That's what I would tell myself. Yes, I know I have 2 children. The pain is so unrelenting. I'm going to kill myself anyway. I'm wondering, was any of that true for you?
I had spent decades devoting my life to the care of children. So it was enough for me to focus on this child and make sure he got what he needed. And I knew I had to be the one to do that. I did have moments, many, where I just thought, I can't do this. And if there was a mad shooter in the neighborhood, or there's a earthquake and something sucked me up, I'll go. Like, I would volunteer if this person or the earth needed 1 human. Like, I'm here, because the pain is too great. It felt too great to me, but that never happened. And so I would get up every day and drive my son to school.
On the way home from driving Jacob to school, did you ever think, if I just go like this really quickly, I could end it?
No, but it's interesting you say that, because I lived overseas for a while, and there was a stretch of my life where I did have a moment like that. So clinical depression, and that's something I don't even talk about. It was a situational period of my life. And I did have that when I was driving down the road. If I just do this was before child even. And I realized, oh, hello, me, I'm a social worker. I need to go get some help. And I did. So I had that experience of clinical depression for a brief period of time. Then Brent dies. And I knew that was not clinical depression. That was something completely different. So I know you've talked about this before, but 6 months later, when I went to go see a psychiatrist, and she wanted to give me X, Y, and Z, because I had, in her mind, what did she call it? I don't think it was complicated grief, but it was something like that, she termed it. And even though she had all the letters behind her name, I just looked at her like she had 20 heads. And I said, my husband was missing for 2 weeks. We were together for 17 years. He died, and I'm supposed to be okay in 6 months? Are you kidding me right now? Bye! And I walked out. And
Do you remember, did she respond? Did she say anything?
I don't even remember. I don't remember. It was just a blur. Like, I just felt like, I can't believe I'm sitting here with somebody who doesn't get it. And then, of course, I found a trauma therapist who I still see once a month for check-in. Boom, she got it. and has walked with me this whole way. So yeah, anyway, that's just kind of my experience of.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to get it out there. There is a big, big difference between depression, which can be treated with meds, and grief. They are two different things. There are crossovers, but
Yep.
when someone we love dearly dies, it ain't a picnic. And it doesn't end in 6 months or in 12 months or in 18
Right.
months or in 2 years. And this notion that pop a pill, pop a pill, pop a pill, that's the answer.
So, I mean, one of the chapters in here is the Healing Tool W, right, which is Western and Eastern medicine. So I am a believer in go find out which tools are going to work for you. You know, Western medicine and Eastern medicine both have a place in healing. What they are for me may be different for you, may be different for that person over there. But there are many ways to go about the healing process, as you know, many ways, many paths, and many people that can help us. And that's what I was running after. Anybody and any experience that could possibly help me heal, bring it on, bring it on. And that's why I sat there with those folks saying, pray for me, pray over me, pray under me, because I can't do it. But I know you are going to help me in some way.
So Susan and I have planned what we know is going to be a fun, interactive, online weekend experience for 22 people. The intention, like everything I do, yes, hold on, let them look at me first before you
I'm
bring
looking at fun.
before you bring on the fun stuff. The intention is, like everything I do, to create a community. We heal best and quickest in community. We're going to create a safe, sacred space for 22 people. I believe 4 of the spots, I know 4 of the spots are already spoken for, so there are 18 seats. It is in October. We begin Friday night. We're going to go, I think, from 10 to 5 Central on Saturday, and maybe 10 to 1 on Sunday. We're going to open it with a Zoom gathering a couple of days before that Friday, and we're going to close it, I think, 2 weeks afterwards. So it's going to be maybe this 3-week time commitment where we're all traveling together with the intention of healing. And every single person that registers receives a gift basket. And we're offering tools. We're going to work with you to experiment with the tools and expand the tools and see how you can literally apply those tools day after day after day. There is a notion out there that, oh, healing is such a mystery. Everybody's grief is unique. No one can tell me what to do. I don't know if I'll heal or if it's healing is possible, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, people, I studied, okay, there's Freud. I think most people know who Freud is. There's Carl Jung. I think a lot of people know who Carl Jung is. And there's a really cool, internationally known dude called Carl Rogers. Google Carl Rogers. His approach to working with people, it's called the person-centered approach. He believes that every single human being has within them everything they need to heal. I believe that too. And when we're in what I call a safe, sacred space, we innately move towards the light. Carl Rogers, it's his way of being. This human being here is so loved by the universe goes, hey, while things are really cool in your life, you're on your feet again after your daughter died and your wife died. You're really, really happy. You're raising 2 really, really healthy kids. You should enroll in an 18-month certification program taught by Carl Rogers' daughter, Natalie. I studied with Carl Rogers' daughter, who adored her father and adored her mother, who was an artist. And Natalie combined her father's work and her mother's work. And the certification is in expressive arts for healing. Healing is possible. It's possible. Intention. That's where it starts. Vision. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? That's why we did the vision boards. Action steps. Time alone does not and will not heal. I'm responsible for my healing. Susan wrote a book, so nobody ever again should ever say, I don't know what to do to heal. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. She lays it all out in here. She's not telling you what you should do. She's giving you options and opportunities about what you could do. So what we've done is we went through this book. We picked out what we like the most, what we think that are the most fun, interactive healing tools. We put together this kit. Every single one of you is going to get it in the mail. What's in the kit?
Well, first, since we can't do baskets because we're not live, but you're going to get a welcome kit in this huge blue bag. And everyone's going to, oh, look, Tom, I have yours. I have part of your kit here.
Love it.
I can go through that. You want me to go through what's in here?
What is the most fun for you that we put in there?
Oh, well, let me see here. Okay. Well, first I showed you my little guys, right? Everybody's also going to get a stress ball, happy face guy, a stress ball, and there's some cloud dough that everyone's going to get in a different color. Colors have meaning as well, and we'll talk about that during the retreat. So these will come to you as well.
We don't know what stress balls are because we're under an incredible amount of stress and we're overwhelmed with grief. So what is a stress ball and what do we put?
Well, stress balls are to help get anxiety out of the body, and you can squeeze it. Kids have these in school often too, kids who need to kind of fidget spinners and things like that. But it's just a way to kind of get your energy and anxiety out of the body. There is a gentleman named Peter Levine, Dr. Peter Levine, who has a practice. It's actually a therapy called somatic experiencing. And he was watching animals in the wild who were traumatized. So let's picture a rabbit being chased by a coyote. Rabbit's running, goes into a hollow log and escapes. Coyote wanders off. What does the rabbit do after that traumatic chase? It shakes, right? Animals shake. They shake trauma out. Well, humans don't do that. We lock everything in. So one small, very small thing that we can do to release anxiety is to squeeze a stress ball, and we'll send this to you.
So every person that registers is going to get one of those in the mail.
Every person, yes.
And what was the other thing? I love the other thing that you mentioned. I forget what it's called.
It's called cloud dough, and it's similar to kinetic sand. If anyone has heard or played with kinetic sand, it's got a polymer in it which makes it pliable, but it doesn't fall all over the place. So I'm taking this cloud dough out of the little pot, and it's meditative. I wish I could give this to you through the computer so that you could feel it. It's almost like squeezing. It's almost like kneading dough. If you've ever kneaded dough in the kitchen, if you're a cook, I'm not a big cook. However, a lot of friends have cooked their way through healing. And so this is another way to release anxiety, is just by kneading something. What do you have?
A cookie.
I want that. Oh, did you make those or did someone send those to you?
My dear, dear friend Sherry, who I've talked about before, she lives up the hill. She literally dropped these off tonight. Isn't that sweet?
Well,
She just texted me and said, I dropped these cookies off for you.
so nice.
Yeah,
So
so
nice.
that's like kneading and kneading and kneading the dough.
Yes, it's like kneading the dough. So everyone will have a different color, and we'll talk about the symbolism of color. Also in this little bag, you'll have a little wrapped in tissue paper so it doesn't break stone. And this one is for you, Tom. Can you read that?
Yeah, it's Believe. This is one of my favorite exercises. This is the one that Susan made for me. Can you read it?
Oh, brave, brave. Yep. And this one is Believe.
Yeah.
You know, and you always say words have power. And before I even met you, I believed that as well. And chapter Q in the book is quotes that inspire hope, or words that inspire hope. So we're going to be doing exercises and activities where people can pull quotes and words from magazines, maybe make a huge bulletin board. Mine is over there, I should show you. But this word, believe, is a reminder of inspiration, because we all need hope, especially during this time.
This is what I also love about the word believe. I truly believe that this is true. There are many people out there who are living with the death of a child, living with the death of a spouse, living with the death of a parent, a sibling, a dear friend, and they believe they will never ever heal. They believe there is a hole in their heart that will never be full. And I think it's really important that we say, if that's what you believe, you are so powerful that that is the experience you are going to create. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy. And when I say that to people, they're stunned. And the thought is, you mean it's okay to believe something else? You know, it's okay to believe that I could heal, or it's okay to believe that I won't always be walking around with a hole in my heart. It's okay to believe that I could be happy or joyful. And then it comes, but wouldn't that be being disloyal to the person I love
Right.
that died? Won't people
Right.
judge me and think, well, then I mustn't really have loved that person if I'm happy again, or if I bought a new
Right.
car or a new pair of shoes, or if I'm out with my girlfriend having a drink, they're going to judge me. That's how powerful the word believe is. And that's how powerful we are. What we believe, we create.
Yes.
And I
And
think,
just to,
and I think most people, our beliefs are unexamined and they exist at a subconscious level. Most people aren't really even clear what it is they believe.
right. That's true. And to piggyback on that, as you were talking, I was thinking what you're saying reminds me of, you know, there is a theory called post-traumatic growth, not post-traumatic stress. We know that. We hear about that all the time. Post-traumatic growth. This is a wonderful workbook, people. It's called the Post-Traumatic Growth Workbook. And there is research out there that tells us people that have had traumatic situations like ours grow in 5 distinct areas. And we'll get into that on the retreat. We're going to be talking about ways that we can bloom and grow. This is your blue flower, Tom, with the death of our person or people. So post-traumatic growth, we're going to get into and talk about that as well.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Does everybody grow in those 5 areas? Does everyone experience post-traumatic growth, or just people that believe that it's possible?
You've got to believe it's possible.
Because you and I know some of the same people. I know some cranky, bitter, dark, hopeless people who, I mean, grief has transformed them, but in a painful way. It's like
Right.
rather than saying yes to life, they're saying, hell no, hell no, hell no, hell no. So post-traumatic growth is available to us, but we have to step into it.
Right. For instance, I can say, you know, one of the pillars, the first pillar of post-traumatic growth is new opportunities arise. How many of us, maybe all of us, have had new opportunities arise, new people we've met, new groups we've gotten involved with, new something, right? A new opportunity. Now, if you believe in post-traumatic growth and that is a research that is being conducted on traumatic, survivors of some sort of trauma, then you start looking for all of the growth opportunities, right? Rather than saying, no, 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 you start seeing them. Oh, I met Tom Zuba at a workshop. Oh, I have a new friend who was the preschool teacher of my son. I mean, all of the new opportunities that have come from Brent's death. And yes, I would like him back here, but that's not a possibility right now physically. So I'm going for the growth, and I'm going to look for those new opportunities that have arisen.
And I believe more so than ever that as I continue to say yes to those growth opportunities, I'm raising my vibrational level, and like energy attracts like energy. And as you said, I draw more and more and more of those opportunities to me energetically.
Exactly. Well, it's how we met, right? For those people who don't know, I mean, we met at a conference. I knew I wanted to find you. I hadn't met you. I didn't really know your whole story. And I come down the stairs and you're standing there in the lobby, nobody else around. A usually crowded lobby and no one is there except Tom Zuba standing at the bottom of the stairs. I mean, that's right, like energy being attracted.
And rather than just say, hey, how are you? Have a great weekend. I mean, we stood there and we talked for 45, 50, 60 minutes.
Right.
And
right.
as I recall,
it's the forward to my book.
Well, and as I recall, it's not like there were a bunch of people coming and going for whatever reasons. Like we had this force field around us and nobody was there.
Yes.
Like energy attracts like energy. If we're marinating and if we're vibrating in a place of lack, we attract more lack. If we're marinating and vibrating in a place of gratitude and abundance and healing, we attract more of that.
Right. And the second pillar is appreciation for things in life. You talk about this all the time. Gratitude, appreciate. If we're looking for it, it will come. It will keep coming, right? But we've got to be open to the idea that it is possible.
And what I get it. I get it. I mean, when someone we love dies, we are thrust into the deepest, darkest pit of lack. Lack. I get it. I've done it 3 times. And sooner or later, like you said, it's like some of us, not all of us, but like we raise our head up a little bit and think there's gotta be something else. And when we begin to do that, we notice it's like, dang, you know what? This coffee tastes good. I'm grateful for this coffee. I noticed my friend gave me this rock that's been sitting on my shelf and it says spirit. I'm grateful for that. So we begin.
I love that you still have that.
Listen, you didn't give me 1. I have 3. My friend gave me this rock. She painted this. It's the word hope. It's the word light. So do I, even in my darkest, do I actually have something to be grateful for? If I'm honest, I do. And so does everybody else. But it's being willing to see with new eyes and hear with new ears and feel with a new heart. And as you said, sorry people, but dead is dead. I mean, I can't change that. But I didn't want to walk around living, but actually being dead.
Exactly. Me too. I've always been, even as a child, swinging from the trees, from San Diego at the beach, running in the sun. I'm a happy person. And that, crushed me as it should, really, right? And I do want to say also, I want to talk about another thing we're going to be doing on the retreat which I feel is very important, because when you are crushed, often no words come out. So one very important tool is imagery. And we've got to get into the right side of our brain where color, sound, symbols are stored in order to be able to have words again. So we're going to be doing some work with symbolic imagery, and I just want to do a little test. So for you, Tom, and for whoever's watching, I'm just going to hold up an image, and just the people who are watching, just type in what it means to you. Could be one word. So here's the first image.
Got it.
Here's the first symbol.
Do you want me to say it, or do you want me to just write it down?
I want you to write it down.
Okay. And then, okay, I know what number one is.
And then I want you to read off just maybe what 5 different people have said. Just one symbol.
Yeah. So what I'm asking you to do is put in the letter 1, because this is number 1, and write down what this represents to you. Okay. All right. They're coming in. My friend Dawn's there. Dawn, I hope you heard me talk about how much I love the gift that you sent. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what mine is first, but Tammy said Mardi Gras. Dawn said New Orleans. Denise said Mardi Gras. Robin said colorful. This is my friend Liz Freeman, who I love, who's a really, really powerful artist. And she must have, I don't know if it's autocorrect or what, but she said Marcy Bras. Marcy Bras. You go, Liz. I don't know who Marcy is, but it's a Marcy. For whatever reasons, these beats remind Liz of Marcy's Bras. Maureen, my friend Maureen, Mardi Gras. Brenda, fun. Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras. Mary said fun. Party, playing dress up, celebrate, children's necklaces, dress up for little kids. I said Mardi Gras. That's what came to me first too, is Mardi Gras. Not Marcy's Bra, Mardi Gras.
So we had Marcy's Bra, we had some Mardi Gras, but we also had color, fun, light. A symbol means different things to different people. And without even discussing it with each other, we know some things about each other, right? So let me give you one more. We'll do one more.
Okay. Yeah, I know. So this is number 2. Put down number 2 and tell us what that. You tell us. What's the language you're using?
Well, this is a symbol. So what does this symbol mean to you?
This is fun. This sounds like our retreat weekend might be fun.
Yeah. What does it signify? What does it symbolize? And it's usually, boom, the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't think about it too much.
Yeah. So put in number 2, and then Carol, you're not following directions, but Carol said Easter. Carol Burke said Easter. Carol Green said Christmas. Jill said Hawaii. I'm going with Jill, Hawaii. Tammy said Christmas. Denise said Christmas. Christmas. Margot, my friend Margot said pure. That doesn't surprise me about Margot. Yeah, pure. Very cool. Liz Freeman of Marcy's Bra said starflower. Starflower. She lives by you. She lives in Southern Cal.
Okay.
Robin said Christmas. Yep. Rhonda said white Christmas, poinsettia, Christmas. Maureen, my friend Maureen said peace. Beauty, Christmas, holidays, growth, beautiful and refreshing. I said Christmas too. That's the first thing that popped into my mind.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a lot of imagery-based exercises this weekend, because when there are no words to speak, you have words with images. And there's a beautiful therapy called sand tray therapy or sand play therapy, totally nonverbal. When you are just floored and you cannot even utter a word because your situation is incomprehensible. There are sand play therapists and sand tray therapists, just slightly different, who will have you come to their office and choose a bunch of symbols and put them in the sand. And we're going to be talking about symbolic imagery and how that can help us heal. But that's another fun thing.
Yeah, so one of the things that's coming up for me is, as you held up the beads, as you held up the white flower, there's not a right answer or a wrong answer.
Nope.
It's whatever my answer is.
Exactly.
And I can learn something about another person and about myself by being open to learning what their answer is, what their response is.
Well, if we were all in person, what I would have you do is choose. Okay, now let's see if we can do this one virtually. This would be pretty cool. Okay, Tom, I'm going to have you choose one of these two images.
Laugh, the guy with the black ears. No,
okay,
you're right.
This guy. Okay, and I'm going to pick one. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to pick this guy. He's a little tractor. So you tell everybody what this symbol means to you, and then I'll tell them what this means, and then we'll go from there.
So I know it. That's my friend Mickey Mouse, who is, are we telling a story, or did you just want me to stop there?
Yes, because there's always a story, so go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's my friend Mickey Mouse, and he is a little sad because he wants to take Minnie on a date, but they have nothing to drive in. They have nothing to drive in, and they want to go to the beach, and it's about, I don't know, it's about 40 miles. They can't walk to the beach.
Okay, remember that story. Now, I chose this truck, and this just simply reminds me of my son. He is obsessed with vehicles, wheels, cars, trucks, tires, so this just reminds me of him. Now, Tom, we're going to switch images, which is what we would do if we were in a small group live. You are going to tell me what this one means to you.
To me personally, or to me as Mickey?
To you personally as Tom.
Okay, so I just saw my sister. She's up from Tampa with her wife, Michelle. They bought this huge, badass black truck. It is enormous. And they attached their enormous Skyline, quote, camper, which is like unbelievable house on wheels. And I'm looking at it going, dang, I want one, but I want my badass truck to be green like that.
So look at the stories behind, there's a huge story behind this one symbol, right? There's a huge story behind this symbol for you, which is why symbols are so powerful, because we have stories connected to them. And they're different stories. So to me, this reminds me, this is a symbol from my friend Jack, who draws, he's a graphic designer, and he is a Walt Disney nut, and he draws Goofy and Mickey and Donald all week long. So that's what this symbol means to me.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you for a second, because I want to, so I studied with Natalie, and what Natalie coined the phrase creative connection. And what she suggested is, okay, we do that once and we're on this level. And if we do it a second time, we go a little bit deeper. If we do it a third time, we even go deeper. As you were holding Mickey Mouse and telling me your story, this is what came up for me. Let me tell you what came up for me. Trish died on January 1st. And I was concerned about that very, very first Mother's Day. Like I said, John had turned 4, Rory was still 7. So I had a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. We were gonna mark our first Mother's Day with Mom being dead. I consciously took them to Disney World because I wanted to have a good time, and I wanted photographs that as they got older, I would be able to show them our life is different, but different isn't less than. and different isn't bad. We had a really,
Right.
really, really good time at Disney. But then when Rory died on February 22nd, I was looking at that first Christmas without him. Sean and I went to Disney. We were at Disney for New Year's Eve. And it was spectacular. I mean, it was wonderful. Rory hadn't been done a year. We had a great time. So I go from a silly, goofy story about Mickey and Minnie to this is real. I mean, this is my life. That's powerful.
And as you're talking, I'm thinking, now I'm going a level deeper, and I'm thinking, holy cow, Brent died in July, and someone gave us a 4-pack of Disney tickets, Disney family tickets. So my parents, Jacob and I, went to Disney the first Thanksgiving that Brent died. And that came to me as you were talking. So there's so much power in imagery. And that's why I write about it, not once, but twice in the book. Letter I is imagery, and then letter R is right brain relief, because we've got to get on the right side of our brain often. Art, you're an artist, right? That is very healing. Moving color and sound and imagery, light, sand, anything that we can connect with that's not verbal. Because the left side of the brain is reasoning, logical, verbal, makes sense. Hello, I'm sorry, but my situation didn't make sense at all to me then when it happened. So I had to get over here on this side and do work there. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be having fun. I'm all about fun and color, and colors have meaning as well, which is why we're not using materials that are gray and black. Colors are lifting.
This is coming up for me. When you showed the white flower, what I'm wondering is, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but those of us that our first word was, either Christmas or Christmas poinsettia, do you think that those of us that registered that, do you think we might have other things in common as well? I mean, could there be a theme or a thread running through us?
I haven't thought about that. I'm not sure about that.
It'd be interesting. And if someone else, I love the fact that someone said Hawaii, like if 3 people looked at that and were like, Hawaii, would they, if they were in a group, would they find that they had other things in common?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, someone who studies sand clay and sand tray, they would know, like the owl. The owl is a symbol. A symbol for what? I mean, some certain things have symbols, and I don't know exactly what is the significance of this. This is not as symbolic as an owl, right?
Right.
But it definitely has a story behind it. It
Yeah.
has many stories behind it.
Right.
And so it's a way for us to access deeper and more information that we can't get to just talking.
The third time that you held that up, I had this clear vision of Sunday nights, looking so forward to, I think it was 6 p.m. Central on Sunday night. My mom and dad, I have 7 brothers and sisters, and we would all, it was those days when we had our little chairs and we would make a half circle around the big box television on the floor, and we would watch The Wonderful World of Disney. I remember Old Yeller, and, we would have popcorn. That was a really tender, special, wonderful, innocent time for me when I was little.
All of this is coming up by me holding up a Mickey Mouse.
And I think I'm going to send me a bill for this therapy session. And honestly, Susan, I remember when Aaron died, part of me was so effing furious because I knew that was the end of my innocence. That was I think it was 33. was the end of my innocence. And I resented that because I looked around at my peers and my siblings and I thought, you all still get to be innocent, but I don't. Wow. What's the date of our weekend retreat?
October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Okay, it's October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And like I said, there's 22 spots. 4 of them are filled. And you can register at tomzuba.com. Can you share with us one more? Do you have one more thing in the packet, in the welcome packet that?
Oh, I was going to show you another symbol.
Oh,
let's see.
Whichever.
Well, this is an easy one. Everyone's going to get a straw because chapter B in the book is about breath work. And I'm going to teach you some very simple, very practical breath work exercises. And one is called straw breathing. And it's a simple way to calm the body and the nervous system when we start to get anxious. You know, I'm a big why person. Why does this work? Why does that work? Well, why does anything work? And it's in the book. You know, what is the healing power of breath work, right? What is the healing power of imagery? It's all in there.
So walk us through the straw breath work.
Breathing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't send you this one, Tom, because I'm about to put my bell on.
My hunch is she probably will. This is when we're done. TZ especially.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
No, look, I've got packs and packs of straws because in real time with people and virtually, I do straw breathing. So the breath is one of the most powerful tools we have. We have it with us all the time, and while we're alive, and it's free. So I know for me, I was never prone to anxiety attacks or anxiety or depression or anything like that. And oops, that must be my phone. We got fires over here. I don't know if you can hear that. Hold on one second.
Is that an alarm? So you guys, it's the first weekend in October. Go ahead.
I think it was an alert. Like, we're having fires here and it's crazy town. So time to breathe. Anyway, yes. So we have our breath all the time. It is free. And unless we have to evacuate, tell me later.
Can we see Jacob? Can we take a look at Jacob?
Hey, Jacob.
I haven't seen him in so long.
Oh.
This is her son. I was out there for her book launch, so I got to meet Jacob.
Jacob is coming up the stairs. He's 13 now.
I know.
He was 5 when I know. So he's going to come up and say hi.
Hey, Jacob.
Here, have a He can't hear you because I've got AirPods on.
Oh, well,
I'll give you one.
Oh, that is
We're going to share.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Hold on. Welcome to my life.
There we go.
Okay, now you're on. Now he can hear you.
Hey, Jacob.
Hi.
How are ya?
You gotta come over here.
We got to see you. We got to see you.
Here, have a seat.
Come on. Sit on your mom's lap. Hey, do you remember when I was visiting you guys?
Yeah, I remember.
Let's turn up the volume.
Do you remember what happened?
Oh, okay, hold on.
There.
We're turning the volume up so we can both hear you.
Do you remember what happened to me when I was visiting you guys?
Yeah, you hit your lip on the hot tub thing.
Yeah, thanks for letting everyone know. And you had that big honking scab for the whole day and pretended like there was nothing there.
What just happened?
Mom, you got rid of this video.
Wait, where's your video? Oh, there you are. See, we can't do this together otherwise.
What?
Too much energy. So school starts tomorrow?
It does, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm really excited. I haven't been back to school for a while. I'm going to stand.
Oh, he's going to stand. You got to scoot back, though, because your head is right there. You go.
So do you guys have to wear masks all day?
Yeah.
And are there kids like that you have not seen since March?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting to be able to finally see them.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Will you go every day, Monday through Friday?
Yep. Unless there's another outbreak, then we'll have to come back home.
Well, you're a lot smarter than your mother and I. Do you think there's going to be another outbreak?
Yeah, I think so.
Any idea when?
When? No, I don't know, but there hasn't been an outbreak so far this weekend, which is good. I kind of expected one because it's a holiday, but
We had a lot of people packing the beaches in San Diego. So, but
I thought it took like 7 to 14 days for it to really show the effects.
well, yeah, that's true because people don't find out if they have it yet
I'll give him the microphone.
until yeah. So hopefully everything will be fine.
Yeah, well, you're a pretty powerful human being. I'm doing a retreat here in October and people are flying in from all over the country. So could you
Yeah.
kind of hold off any huge like shutdowns till after my retreat?
I'll try.
Thank you, Jacob.
Okay.
We'll think about you tomorrow. Have a great day. Have a great day.
It's a big day tomorrow.
I know. For everybody. I mean, for the teachers, the principals, the parents, everybody.
I know. It's been quite a haul since March, I will tell you that.
So is there anything else you want to share with the folks about? Oh, you didn't finish your straw thing.
Oh, this straw thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So many interruptions. Okay. So I know for me, after Brent died, I was breathing really high and tight, like, right? Almost hyperventilating, which a lot of us do. The deep belly breath that the yoga folks do, that's what really helps us actually get enough air and regulate our nervous system. But we often can't do that when we're grieving or traumatized. So if you were to get a straw, you would breathe in through your nose and out through the straw. I'll do this a couple times. So when we breathe out through this tiny little hole, what is going to happen?
We're going to breathe slower.
Right, we're going to be forced because the air is constricted right through this little hole. So we don't even have to think about it, and we are being forced to slow down our rate of breath, which slows down our heart rate, and our breath. Our whole nervous system calms down just by regulating the breath. So if you have a straw at home, you'll get one in the mail if you sign up for our retreat. But it's simply breathing in through the nose and then out through the straw, just like this. That was one exhale. It's
Okay.
a long time.
Yeah, so we can do this with you. I mean, we can inhale with you and then
Right.
slowly exhale. And when you're done exhaling with the straw, we should be done. So we're supposed to do it that slow. Let's do it together 3 times, just to try it. So I'm going to get really, really, really comfortable in my chair. I'm going to focus on you. And as you're inhaling, I'm going to inhale. And as you're exhaling, I'm going to go really, really slow.
And then when I'm done with my exhale, I'll take the straw off so you guys will know.
Okay.
All right, 3 times. All right, here we go. Breathe in. That was 3.
Yeah, I like that.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I feel more settled, like
Yeah.
more rooted in my chair and in my body.
Right. I feel more mellow. So breath work is powerful. And I have a couple more exercises to show you on the retreat that are easy to do because we have our breath with us all the time.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you for a second.
Okay.
I'm mindful of the time. This is what I think is cool about me being able to work with you. I've read a lot of books, but the books that I've read, are more what people would say woo-woo-y, spiritual, energy, et cetera, et cetera. And I've watched a lot of people on television, I've listened to a lot of speakers, and I have picked up a lot of tools along the way. So personally, I know what works for me, and I'm more than happy to pass those tools off and around to who is ever willing. You compliment me in that you've read different books. I mean, you know the science and the theory and the wisdom behind all the different techniques that you present in the book. You know that it works, and you know why it works. So you bring something unique and that I don't have. I think we make a really good team.
Teamwork, I believe we heal in community, and community is something that we're all lacking right now because of what we're being asked to do with COVID. A lot of people are feeling isolated, and we heal in community. So these retreats are one way to heal together.
And I guess what I want to share is, if folks have never experienced a safe, sacred space online, and they think, well, how could that be? I mean, how could I really connect with people that I don't know over a weekend and that I'm not actually going to see face to face? I've got 22 people that finished module 1 of Permission to Mourn. I have, I believe, 16 people that are in Becoming Radiant right now. And every single one of them will say, I've made lifelong friends. I've never sat in the same room with them physically, but I've made lifelong friends. I feel less alone. I feel more supported. I feel closer to some of these people than I do to my own family.
Yes. I run a Monday evening group, and these folks have become extremely close. I started running a group in March every Monday night, and here we are in September now. They're mailing each other banana bread from one state to the next. I mean, they're calling each other, how are you doing with this? And I was not a big believer in the virtual world really connects people. I am a complete believer in that now. I think my first choice would be, to be sitting in your living room, Tom, right? Chatting with coffee. But this is where we are right now. And virtual connections are so powerful. They really are.
And you know what? For the population that we're working with, for people that are learning to live with the death of someone they love, I share this based on my experience coaching people all over the world through FaceTime or through Zoom or through Skype. Most of them I've never met. But to me, this is what I've discovered. They're in the safety of their own home. They're not in my home or in my office. They're surrounded by their things. That's safe. That's really, really safe. Number one. Number two, I'm not sure if I should share this because this might frighten people, but I actually think that this is more intimate. I think this is more intimate than being face to face in my office or in my home. Because here, if I look over here, that's being rude to you. I mean, I'm making eye contact with you through, for an hour and a half now, I've been making eye contact with you. If you were in my house, you would look out the window, you would look up, and that would be perfectly acceptable. So this, to me, actually is more intimate. It's more sacred. The connection is actually strong. It's more personal. And, like we said at the beginning, where two or more are gathered, that's where the power is. That's where the energy is to really, really, really heal. To me, it's sacred. It's sacred, sacred work.
It is. I agree.
I was going to ask you something. You said, you said that Brent's, understandably so, you said that Brent's death crushed you. It crushed you in the same way that I have been crushed. I have been crushed. Do you feel crushed today?
No. Absolutely not.
So-
I feel like I'm thriving and I love the work I do. I'm very passionate about the work I do. I'm happy. I have a happy kid. You saw him. I mean, he's a 13-year-old, right? Some 13-year-olds, I mean, he gladly came up and said hi and he's excited about school. I mean, I've created a life with the help of so many people, helping us heal, and now I have a wonderful life. And sure, sure, maybe I'd like to repartner again, or sure, I wish Brent was here. Yes, there are things like that. But all in all, I'm a pretty happy person. And so I do not feel crushed.
And what if someone listening would say, well, you're the oddity, you're the lucky one. You're different than the rest of us. You're not normal. What you've created, what you've described, that's not available to everyone. That's not possible. What would you say?
I'd say tune into Tom Zuba's show every Tuesday evening to listen to people like Nancy Salzman, our friend whose entire family died in a plane crash. She is one of the most beautiful, happy, joking, loving people I have met. You as well. But, my world now, I'm surrounded by people who are bereaved parents, widowed people, whatever the labels all are. And some of these people are the most beautiful, lovely, gratitude-filled humans I've ever met in my life. And that's why I love the work that I do, because I get to hang out with those people like you, who've been there and have clawed and scratched their way to a beautiful place.
And my intention is to share the knowledge and the wisdom and the tools with as many people as I possibly can, so they don't have to suffer as long as I did. And that's why we created this week. We want to show people a new way, a new way to do grief. We can actually have fun together. And by doing grief a new way, we can create a new life. We can create a new life that we love and that we enjoy and that we're grateful for.
Exactly.
So it's here. I know you're on Pacific. Here it's almost 9 Central. Can we take a couple of questions from folks?
Sure.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions for Susan, type it in and I'll ask. Again, the retreat's the first weekend in October. It's Friday night, all day Saturday, half a day Sunday. And if you go to my website, tomzuba.com, you can...
And yeah, when you see we are going to have fun. I'm about fun. I'm a teacher and a social worker, and I make things fun because that's how I learn best. So believe it or not, we will talk about grief and trauma and fun all on the same weekend.
And I also want to mention something else. I'm glad you mentioned both of our friends. We're both really, really good friends with the author of a really powerful book called Radical Survivor. Radical Survivor. She's got a really, really cool husband who Greg popped his head in yesterday.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and I asked him 3 words that would describe Nancy. And then I asked him 3 words that would describe their life together. And you know what words he used?
No.
It was right. It wasn't rehearsed. He didn't even know it. He said our life together. It's fun, it's magical, and it's miraculous.
Oh, I just got the goosebumps.
I know. Greg Roman, Nancy Saltzman's husband. Fun, magical, and miraculous. And Nancy, as Susan said, I jokingly said, I'm the guy with the 2 dead kids and the dead wife. She's the gal with the 2 dead kids and the dead husband. The difference is her entire family died on a Sunday in a small plane crash. We spoke for 2 hours. It's the second episode of my podcast, But if
Awesome.
you go to YouTube, you can actually watch the video. And if you go to YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. She is really a beacon of light.
She is.
Okay, so here, Liz said, I believe that I am healing. How I am healing is according to my choices. Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, healing is a choice. And some people get irritated when I say this. If you know me well enough, I don't really care anymore. But because it's my truth. I mean, I'm just saying what I believe is true. If you don't believe it's true, that's okay. I do believe this is true. And it's a quote from Carolyn Mace. We each determine the speed at which we heal. To me, that is so empowering. We each determine the speed at which we heal. And we heal, as Liz said, based on the choices that we make. We're not victims. Rhonda said, death causes the most compassionate people. It can, in my experience, it also causes the most bitter, closed off, irritating, angry people. And it's a choice that we make either consciously or subconsciously.
Right after Brent died, I went for a walk with a woman in the neighborhood who had been widowed maybe 10 years earlier. And I remember what she said to me. The only thing I remember from our conversation is this. She said, Susan, this will make you bitter or this will make you better. That is the only thing I remember from our conversation. And I was determined, I'm going to be better. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm going to do that.
If folks just remember those 3 words, bitter or better, bitter or better. And I play a role in determining whether I create a bitter Tom or a better Tom. It doesn't just happen. I'm a participant in my life. I'm not a victim.
Right.
Bunny said, I thank you both for the knowledge and tools to make a joyful life. You are welcome. Liz, my friend Liz, who it was Marcy's bra. You will never live that down, Liz. Never, never, never. Liz said, thank you, Tom and Susan. I also believe that you complement each other. I enjoyed the first, and this one is just as good. By first, she meant our first conversation. Yeah, that was really, really powerful. And again, if you didn't hear us at the beginning, you can find that on YouTube. Noreen said, do you have a Facebook page group? I'm thinking she's asking you, Susan.
I have an A to Z Healing Toolbox Facebook page, but is not a group. Tom's the group Facebook guy. I do not have that at this point.
Yeah. Although you certainly are available to speak online to groups.
Yes. So yes, I do speaking with A to Z Healing Toolbox, and then I do speaking for bereaved parents of the USA and Soaring Spirits International and Children's Hospital and organizations that have groups of people that are handling grief and trauma.
My friend Rhonda said, gosh, I so needed to hear that. Thank you, thank you. Denise, Radical Survivor, Nancy Who. It's Saltzman, Saltzman. But if you go to Amazon, just put in Radical Survivor. The book will come up.
I'm going to get the book. It's right here. Hold on.
You got it?
Yeah. This is our girl, Nancy. Radical Survivor.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Kathleen said, it's my choice every morning. Choose pain or peace. Yeah. Gail, who I get to meet tomorrow night in my opening Zoom gathering for Permission to Mourn. Thank you, Tom and Susan and Jacob, for a wonderful evening. I totally enjoyed it. Folks, if this resonates with you, share it. I always say this. If we don't share, if we don't become the teachers, how are the others going to know? How are the others going to know? Kat said, this has been fun and empowering.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah. I know my husband and I wanted joy after our youngest kids died, but I felt guilt for saying that I didn't want to be miserable forever. Programs and people like you both show me it's okay. I feel blessed in that I never, ever felt that way. I was like, God damn it, my daughter's dead. I'm going to be happy again. I don't really care.
Yes.
Yes. I do remember after she died, about a year after she died, we traded in our, Honda Civic and we got a Honda Accord. And I do for a minute remember thinking, oh my God, people are going to think, what are they doing? They have a dead daughter. They're chipper enough to buy a brand new car. And I was like, you're damn right we are. We're buying a new car and we're going to love it. Did you feel like, oh, I better not be too happy?
No, the opposite. And I still feel this way. I've been through absolute hell and I deserve gold and I'm going to go get it. Whatever that is, I'm going to make awesome workshops. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to take my child and go on a great vacation. I'm going for the gold for sure.
I love that. I deserve absolute gold. Yeah. And it's like, not only do we deserve absolute gold, we're not going to sit around and wait for someone to give us absolute gold. We are going to create absolute gold in our lives.
Right.
So if people want to work with you and I, and for those of you that love Anna and Mary and Margot, they're going to be our team of assistants because we're going to do breakout rooms. We're also going to have a closed private Facebook page where folks are going to be able to connect offline when we're not live and during that 2 to 3 week period from the very first Zoom to the closing Zoom. So it's me, it's Susan, it's Anna, it's Mary, and it's Margot. You can go to tomzuba.com. I always love talking to you. It always goes by really, really quickly. I cannot wait to get out to San Diego again and sit in your hot tub, which is one of my all-time favorite places to be in the entire world, anyone's hot tub. So final thoughts, my dear.
Well, we've been talking about a lot of things, but I think joy, finding gold, and having some fun while you're learning about the tools. And if people want to join us, I would love to meet them and work together. And I believe that we all healing community. So what better way to do that than during a pandemic, right? Community, online, virtually, we're all here together.
So if people really, really resonate with you, how can they connect with you online?
So, I have my website. There's a free online toolbox on the website, which is A2Z, healingtoolbox.com. You can sign up for my monthly newsletter there. There's an A2Z Healing Toolbox Facebook page. I will say I'm not as active as Tom on Facebook. I'm a mom right now to a teenager, so I'm like running in 20 directions. And my email address is susan@a2zhealingtoolbox.com.
And where can people find this really, really powerful book?
That is on my website, again, which is a2zhealingtoolbox.com, or on Amazon, or Health Journeys. I don't know if folks know about Health Journeys. That's another thing we're going to talk about on the retreat. Healthjourneys.com is a clearinghouse of unbelievable healing tools. And it was started by a social worker who's the queen of guided imagery. Her name is Bella Ruth Napperstack. And she so lovingly offered a recommendation for my book and is now having my book in her catalog, her printed catalog and her online catalog. So you can find it there as well, healthjourneys.com.org.
So when we're done in a minute or two, will you put a link to your website, maybe even a link to your book on Amazon in a comment, so it'll be easier for people to find?
Sure.
And if you want to put the link to the A to Z Healing Toolbox Facebook page too.
Okay.
So
I can do.
Before I officially say goodbye to you, I want to tell folks that next Tuesday, I'm having another really good friend of mine. Her name is Paige Lee. I know that some of you know Paige. There's no coincidences. Paige wrote a book, and her book is called Choose to Believe. Choose to Believe. Her son Brian died. Choose to Believe. And the subtitle is A Story of Miracles, Healing, and the Afterlife. It just came out, but you can get it on Amazon right now. It's called Choose to Believe, A Story of Miracles, Healing, and the Afterlife. It is a stunning book. It's an easy read in that there are, like my book, there's a lot of white space, so it's not overwhelming. It's the story of her life. It's the story of her son's death, but it really, really focuses on the relationship that she's developed with him since he left his physical body. And it's also almost a workbook for the reader. It's very interactive, and it offers us tools and exercises that we can use exactly to grow and expand. It is such a beautiful book that when she asked me to write the foreword to the book, I said yes. I said, I know. It's a really, really beautiful, beautiful book. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't have written the foreword, and I certainly wouldn't have her as a guest next Tuesday. So it's kind of cool. I mean, very, very cool Susan, very, very cool Paige, with two very, very different books, but really, both really, really powerful. So thank you for who you've chosen to be in this world. We need you.
Thank you.
And thank you for writing the book, It's, honestly, I mean, along with my two books and your books, that's it. I mean, that's it. That's what you need. Everything else is, I mean, it's more, but there's so much value that you share with the entire world. I mean, I hope people will buy it. I hope they'll read it. I hope they'll gift it to the next person and the next person and the next person. Those of us living with the death of someone that we love, that the whole community would be so different if every single one of us had access to the wisdom that you shared in your book. I really, really mean that. I really do.
No, thank you. That's why I wrote it. I mean, I just felt like if there's anything I can do to make someone's journey a little bit easier, lighter, less painful, and these tools I didn't just make them up. I didn't just pull them out of nowhere. They're researched, they're scientific backing, so I put it together in a very easy to read format, just open to any chapter and start.
So have you even eaten dinner yet?
No.
So what just share with us, how do you take care of yourself the rest of the evening? What are your plans?
Well, let's see, it's 7:15-ish over here in California. So when I get off, my office looks, there's stuff everywhere. So I'll take 5 minutes, clean up a little, turn everything off. I work from home, so I close up my home office and go downstairs. I already made dinner for Jacob, so he ate during our call. I'll go have leftovers and then just chill out.
Take the straw. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in.
I will. And then I'll go to bed early, and I don't reading before I go to bed is hard because I'm already exhausted by the end of the day with my stuff and Jacob's stuff and the dog. And so I do crossword puzzles. I open a crossword, or I'll read a magazine, you know, just a page or two. And then by that time I'm out. So
I look forward to being you that first weekend in October. It's going to be really, really fun.
I can't wait. Join.
Tell your parents I said hi. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you soon.
I will. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Susan. Bye, everybody. Thank you. I'll see you Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Central. Take really good care.
Bye, everybody.